we will be discussing Black Clover chapters 379 and 380. This will be a stream, however, it will be cut down and highlighted later on and posted onto YouTube. As well as a YouTube video. No camera for today's video. I just wanted to be focused on these things that you are seeing on screen. Chapter 379 and 380. I really thought that this chapter was very strong, solidifies, and we get more lore expansion to Black Clover and how things came to be. So, Black Clover chapter 379 and 380. The first few pages that we get from Black Clover chapter 375 or 79, everybody's hyped. Everybody's hyped. They're saying we won. They think that they won, right? And no, in reality, as we saw from the leaks last week or earlier this week, I should say, the Wizard King, or not the Wizard King, the Wizard Emperor Lucius, he actually comes out, new form, just lore dumps on how he can use every grimoire that goes back after they all die, because everybody thought that, like, whenever you were to pass on, that your grimoire would just disappear. It was never explained where it went. It just, fickled out. It disappeared. And even the anime portrays it like this. Whenever Yuno's about to die, it just fickles out. It's like the end game event. It's just, it fickles out and nobody knows where they went. Well, now with Lucius, that actually solves the problem. It just goes back into the tower. So we get an expansion on that, and not only that, but there actually like a wisdom granted by the gods. So right here, it's very interesting how he says gods. I'm pretty sure Noct, whenever he's explaining explaining his philosophy to the other captains, he says that he doesn't care even if God opposes him or something like that. So it's really interesting dynamic. I don't know if there's only one God, or if it's multiple gods. But yes, that's something interesting to interpret. Anyways, it kind of also makes sense because there is a, maybe I'll edit this in, but there is a panel whenever Lucifero was actually fighting the captains in Black Clover, and he sees a grimoire. He is disgusted by it. He even like mentions it. I'm pretty sure a grimoire. So he is shocked that, I guess, the gods, they give this wisdom to the Clover citizens, and not just them, but like the rest of the world. They just all kind of work differently. Anyways, so he explains how he is able to use every power that goes back onto it, and he demonstrates it by actually taking the lives of Marx, Renvici, or whatever his name is, and the other like big ham torta looking guy, right? Like, they just instantly, all three of them, he goes to where their locations are at, and then boom, takes them back to the fight of Asta and versus him, and he just instantly sacrifices them. And after that, he uses their power. He uses Mark's ability to see everybody, or like Marx's ability to show everybody how or what's going on, to transmit it like a TV, right? And then we see him use Rendrichi's like spells as well, and it's just like, this guy is not to play with. We forget that, like, Lucius, dead ass, he knows the objective. Get rid of That's his main objective, because he is the only one capable of basically changing the fate. However, he can see Asta's fate, so he's also very cautious about that. And literally, he pulls up to Sister Lily and or not and Asta, And while Asta's confessing his feelings, after that he gets rejected. He takes it like a man, and Lucius literally dead ass kills him, quote unquote, right? But even then, Lucius, he's all like, "Damn, what if I didn't kill him?" So he sends paladins to go wherever he could have gone to, right? To go look for him, just in case. And then boom, Asta defeats him, and then he makes all of these clones, to the point where it's even like a clone of himself. They defeat the clones. They're like, we won. No, here's another clone, like the actual main clone, who they think is Lucius, but it's not. It's just a main clone, and they think that they defeat him, and then it's like, no, I prepared that. Like, hey, if everything goes to worse, I'm actually just going to make another clone or other clones, and then I will reappear in my true form. It just takes some time. But I'd rather it take some time than just, hey, I'm gonna like do what every other villain does in the shonen, like just basically, hey, okay, I believe that I killed him. I'm not gonna like pursue or overthink it. I'm just gonna like I killed him. I'm gonna be very egotistical into myself, right? Well, Lucius is not like that, and this is I love that dynamic, of like him, like compared to every other one. He has a follow through plan. If A, B, and C don't go according to plan, he's gonna go to D. He always seems to have a plan for something, for just in case the worst happens. Something as well that is interesting to point out is Ryu, I'm pretty sure that's his name. He has a theory that the crystal in his chest is a very important thing to just go after. And he's still dodging like Asta's attack, so he knows that Asta is still the greatest foe, basically, outside of to get rid of. And so this is a nice parallel, where you see Asta, or the Devil Union of Asta and Libe, attack Lucius. And again, just like whenever Lucius was first introduced to the, not to us, the reader, but to the actual main cast, he uses somebody that means something towards Asta and Libe. Again, at first it was Sister Lily. It meant a lot to Asta, maybe not so much Libe, right? But it meant a lot to Asta, and now it's the other way around, where it's like it means a lot more to Libe because he actually got to experience time with her. Meanwhile, with Asta, it's like, oh, she was my mother, and I'm glad that she still loved me, but not really like that attachment, right? So he uses that against them, and it's a wonderful execution, because it goes to show that he has thought about everything and how to get really Asta's weakness out, and display his weaknesses. So that was a fantastic way to write that, and not just that, but it brings up questions, because if you look at the at the at the at the next page right after that, even Ryu is all like, Asta's mom. Did this guy meet her somewhere ages back? He uses his blood, flesh, bone, and soul magics resurrected to resurrect the dead. And then you see him right next to Lishita, right? You see him just towering over her. So it brings up, and it kind of like fulfills like what happened to her afterwards. It kind of like gives you a little bit more lore to what went on after that. So that's really interesting. And then after they split up, because one, I feel like Asta would have attacked, and it's implied because, as you can see, Asta, as you can see, like, Libe, it emphasizes Libe's face more than it does Asta. If not, I feel like he would have emphasized both of them, like make split screen. But no, it's mostly focused on Libe, and so to me that kind of makes sense, because he spent time with her, and it just tells you that Libe was the one that hesitated. And right there, chapter 379, he says, I can't cut her. No matter if it was a clone or it was something else. He's just not gonna do that because he cherishes his mom a lot. So really nice. I love how Tabata is not playing around with this final villain. Also, I do want to mention on the second page of the English, not English dub, but like on the English translations, uh, Noel says Asta now. But if you look at the Spanish version, because I do speak Spanish, I have to like put right here the translation differentials and the edits, but it says hasta ya voy, which translates to hasta I'm coming. So I'm and from like what Twitter and the community says, it might just be a translation like error-ish because uh the actual Japanese like katakana or a character is hasta I'm coming now, or it can be translated as that, like I'm coming now. So she's just in a rush to go save him, and the designs are magnificent. I'll show them here. My favorite design out of the other paladins would either be Morgan's or mother of Noel Silva. She's just it's crazy how they're going from less human designs, like that was their whole concept, was that they were humans, but now it just seems like, and even kind of like, it's kind of like a visual storytelling and art or whatever, how Lucius is saying that this is like a true human's like form, or like this is like an above like evolution of them. However, they're looking less and less human. So that's very interesting narrative just by the portrayals of the actual character designs. And yeah, like Morgan, oh my god, just beautiful design. And as we keep on going, Yuno steps in. Yuno steps in and washes pretty much everything that's in between him and Lucius, which is interesting because what is gonna happen with Asta's mother, you know? And Yuno is holding back, or he was, with Neverland. So now that he has everything, and as we'll see later on, but now that he has everything, he has a greater chance of defeating Lucius. However, I don't believe that's gonna happen, not even with what happens here later on. Um, and everybody just sees that the anti-magic that was borrowed or led by Asta is gone, and they need to change it up. Like something else must happen. And then this is where we get the I'll catch up fast, right? And it's Asta essentially lending the power of anti-magic and sword magic, like his sword, his Demon Dweller sword, to Yuno. And this is where the controversies start. And we'll get into that here in a bit. But it's a nice parallel. As you can see in the bottom midsection of the paneling that I have right here on my stream or YouTube video, depending how you watch it. But it says like literally the exact same parallel. Yuno is on the floor during the Lucifera fight, and he is trusting in Asta. Not just that, but even in this fight, he is trusting in everybody, and the Black Bulls and Seke and the rest of the Magic Knights to be able to come through and pull through these difficult times. I kind of did a whole 35-page essay on, and I'll link it in the description because it'll fit into what I will explain here in a bit, but it's not university level shit. It might not even be college level, but it's more of something that I wrote to my girlfriend, explaining how the Dark Triad and the Light Triad is a dynamic, and how they're like great. They were great villains in the Spade arc that were the opposites of what Yuno and Asta and Noel were as the Light Triad, and so you can read it. It's 35 pages long. Shouldn't be nothing too crazy, but yeah. And again, it's more like I am telling somebody this. I even start the paragraph, I believe, with "so fun fact." So don't take it like a university level. I'll try to clear things up and make it a little bit more understandable for people to read, but it was more directed towards my girlfriend. And if you guys want to read that, you guys can. But again, just have in mind that it was like me texting somebody this. So there's that. And the chapter ends, as you can see, bottom left of the stream, with inheriting for the moment, keyword for the moment, Asta's anti-magic. This is where I need to come in and explain to people specifically on TikTok and on Twitter, but Twitter is more community like central, unlike some TikTok heads.
I forgot to add like a closing statement, but this is a great chapter. Like 10 out of 10 in my opinion. The lore, more lore dump, and I believe that the power that's happening with and Asta is good. Like there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I can see why people complain about it, but you'll see here the next video if you guys want to go watch that. I'll also have that linked in the description, or just check out my channel. Like you'll see it. But yeah, I think this is a really great and just good 2 chapters.